Once upon a time, in a small village nestled between rolling hills, there lived a man named Arun. He was an average man with a simple job as a carpenter. Despite his hard work, life never seemed to go his way. He faced constant challenges. His business was slow, his relationships were strained, and he struggled with his own self-doubt. One day, feeling particularly overwhelmed, Arun went to visit an old wise man who was known for his ability to give good advice. The wise man lived on a quiet hill, away from the village hustle and bustle. When Arun reached his small home, the old man invited him in. "Tell me, young man, what troubles you?" the wise man asked. Arun sighed deeply. "My life seems to be full of difficulties. Nothing ever goes right. No matter how hard I try, I can't seem to make things better." The wise man smiled gently. "Let me tell you a story," he said. "Many years ago, there was a small, struggling tree in the forest. It grew in the shade of much larger trees, and it seemed to be ignored by the sun. It had no space to grow, and its branches were weak. One day, a strong wind blew through the forest, and the large trees lost their branches, leaving the small tree unharmed. Over time, the small tree grew stronger and taller, reaching for the sun. With time, it became one of the tallest and strongest trees in the forest." Arun listened attentively. The wise man continued. "The tree didn't have the best conditions at first, but it survived and thrived because it focused on what it could control, its will to grow. Just like that tree, you must focus on what you can control, your thoughts. Instead of dwelling on your hardships, choose to see the opportunities that lie ahead." Arun was puzzled. "How do I do that?" he asked. The wise man explained, "Each day, start by thinking one positive thought about your life. It may seem small, but little by little, your mind will begin to change. Replace your doubts with hope. Replace your fear with courage. And soon, your circumstances will start to shift as well." The power of positive thoughts is real. They shape your actions, and your actions shape your future. Arun left the wise man's house feeling uncertain but curious. The next day, he decided to try. Instead of focusing on the difficulties of his work, he focused on the progress he had made. Instead of complaining about his relationships, he found reasons to be grateful for the people in his life. Slowly, his thoughts began to change. Weeks went by, and Arun noticed something remarkable. His business started to improve, not because the world around him had changed, but because his mindset had. He found joy in his work, strength in his challenges, and peace in his relationships. 1 year later, Arun was not only a successful carpenter, but also a respected man in his village. People often came to him for advice, and he shared the wisdom that had transformed his life. The power of positive thoughts, he would say, is not just in the thinking itself, but in the way it leads you to act. It changes your heart, your outlook, and your world. And so, Arun's life became a living example of the truth. When you change the way you think, you change the way you live.